Alright, you guys are ready for the next stage. The next stage is the warrior path. During those 10 days that you're going to experience the detoxification, you are going to be as a shaman who has learned how to control the dynamic and dualistic nature of the mind. Okay, so the process leading up to this is going to entail dealing with irritation in a way that doesn't allow you to resort to a crutch or to a scapegoat for addiction. You're going to have to go through pretty much everything, and you're going to feel the addiction effects of the chemicals that are in foods that we introduce directly through the first portal that I explained into our being, accepting the Himalayan understanding as being a hollow crystal, as a crystal that still has the ability to absorb knowledge while remaining cloudy clear in the middle. Okay, so the Bible interpretation in New Testament would have to do with, the kingdom of heaven being established within. Well, I had an epiphany on a shamanic journey that I was on that, there is a oneness with nature and that I was going to find it, and I believe that I've been given vision and insight into this understanding in order to be able to convey it. So whether or not the words are, completely accurate, that is not, what the point is. The point is to educate people on what you have learned to be able to create that change that you see in the world. So basically, when you are going through the irritation, it's not going to be as abrasive as you might think it is, because you're experiencing a new high of detoxification. These chemicals are coming out of your body, so you're feeling an alien feeling of physiological, response, but you're going to get through that and then start to understand the incorporation on a macro, again, level of different foods that now, after you detox from all the chemicals and you've had the protein sustenance on a prime level with electrolyte value nutrients from the fast that you just went through, that was not denying the body nutrients, hydration, or minerals, okay, and it was 10 to 11 days, okay, now that you've graduated to the warrior path, the warrior or the shaman is to deal with that dualistic nature of the mind through detoxing from these chemicals that influence the mind, to creating a routine, that allows you to stay focused. We don't need to distract ourselves from the world. We need to distract ourselves from ourselves. Ourselves are what has gotten us into this. Okay, so after the 10 days, you're going to start incorporating, wow, now I can look into umbashi plums and things that I can cook with brown rice, pumpkin squash, seaweed variations, and this is Japanese culinary art. I'm telling you a secret that's not taught in culinary school or on TV shows where they're like, this cheesecake is so good, isn't it? Isn't it? Look how pretty it is with the strawberries on it. So you're taking ingredients that essentially have the same sweetness that you're seeking, but they're utilizing the actual vegetable to attain that sweetness, or the pumpkin, or the legume, or the lentil, so macrobiotic entails an Ayurvedic approach, a Himalayan approach, a Sumerian, Japanese, Orient, all of these different cultures from all over the world have the understanding of this dynamic that needs to be present in your foods. Your salty, sweet. The ocean needs a lot of things to be functional, and our body is very like an ocean. Same salinity, same blood water value that we have, So we are kind of like walking porous oceans that essentially need all these things to cater to that, to that longevity. So the ocean, essentially, in ancient Japanese paintings and drawings, and we can see the ocean value in their cultures. So, basically, you're starting to incorporate all these other different foods and cooking them in certain ways because you've trained your mouth to be able to recognize how things are going to taste because you're now tasting reality. You're the true food. Remember the guy in the Matrix that had the steak and he was eating it and he said, how can this not be real? Right? Well, when you change and you decide, I want to be a part of the real world, the real reality of helping in a way and giving, it seems like you would gravitate towards something like this, something like this idea that a lot of people have elaborated on that's not taught in history, it's not taught in school. So when we had the Spanish Inquisitions in history, that was right around the time we broke away from that central idea that I told you about food being in the kitchen, which was the center of the government, meaning the families were the center of the government. Now look how it's inside out, and it's all about, families suffering because of all these people trying to make money in politics and war and all that. When we used to trade grains and legumes and vegetables for the things that we needed, we didn't have those wars. We didn't have that violent eruption that just took over. So this has macro implications, if you will. There's a lot of different things that this is going to help you understand because now you're looking at the world through real eyes. You're seeing that all of the things that you've caused in life for yourself that entailed samsara or suffering or sadness, they were created through not just us. Isn't that a relief? It was a lot of this food that we're eating, the chemicals, they need to be purged from us in order to have that symbiosis with life and death, which leads to longevity because you're no longer, you're no longer fearing death because you're one with life. So we'll see what the next stage brings. I just wanted to kind of reiterate that. Thanks.